In a previous video about network segmentation, I have already shown how to set up the Windows Server and how to set up the Active Directory. And in this video, I'll explain how to set up the users, how to assign them to a group, and how to change the password policy. So first I go to Tools, Active Directory Users and Computers. Here we have the domain.local, in which we have the admin user, domain controllers, and regular users. There is already a list of pre-configured users, so for example, if I want an administrator type user, I right click and then I copy, and here I can insert the credentials. In this case, I put myself as an administrator type user, which you can see here, and it also has different types of roles, which you can add or remove yourself. So I did the same for the guests. So I copied it, and then here we have the guests. And you can also change the credentials here. So once that's configured, I go to Tools, Group Policy Management. Here we have the domains, domain.local. Then I'm going to change the default domain policy. So computer configuration, policies, Windows settings, security settings, account policy, and then password policy. And here we can change the minimum length of the password. We can change the maximum password age, and we can change some other stuff here. And once that's done, you can log out and then you can log into a new user, which I'm going to do now. So in this case, I'll be adding myself. So I select other user. And now you can see I'm logging in as myself. So that's how it works. I hardened my system using a few steps. The steps are in this list. So first I'm going to change the permission for drives. So go to File Explorer, then you go to your hard drive, right click it, Properties, Security, and then if you have a user that has certain permissions, then you can deny the permission, which makes your hard drive less vulnerable. So then I'm gonna look for Windows updates, check for updates, and see if there is a necessary update. Then uninstall unnecessary features, so go to Control Panel, Programs, and then turn Windows features on or off. For example, if you never use file sharing, then you can enable this file sharing support feature. Then enable app protection. So go to app and browser control. And then you can turn on some reputation based protection. And you can also enable some exploit protection. Then I'm going to go to memory integrity. So go to core isolation. And then you want to enable this memory integrity slider, which makes your system less vulnerable from attacks which insert malicious code into the high security processes. So then I'm gonna disable autoplay, which you should turn off to make your system less vulnerable for attacks. And then I go to the Bluetooth settings, more Bluetooth options, and then disable this discovery so that your PC is not recognizable by the Bluetooth devices, so they won't find your laptop. Then another thing I did was I installed Bitdefender, which protects my system from malicious code. And then the last thing I did, which you can see right now, because I'm connected to the router using Wi-Fi, but I also made my own pfSense router using an old computer, and using that pfSense router I can see what's happening on the network, and I can have full control over it and block stuff that I want to be blocked. So that's the step that I took for system hardening.